Welcome back, YouTube. So in today's video is actually going to be a follow-up from the video yesterday because I received a lot of questions about what's the importance of Twitter having an integration for Dogecoin and what type of gains could it possibly yield and why is this such a big deal? And today I'm going to break that down because I think a lot of people will overlook several major factors that can cause a pretty significant price increase in Dogecoin. And before I get into that, I'm just going to take a look here at the chart. You'll see that Doge is still holding up around that second to last tier on the upside. We got a slight rejection off of it yesterday, but we're forming a green candle, still hanging out around 6.5 cents, which is perfectly fine. No significant movements from shorts or anything like that. So as of right now, people just increased their positions or took a new position based off of the news that Elon was acquiring Twitter. And again, you have your early adapters. In my opinion, I do believe that is an intelligent move, especially if we are going to have that huge integration. I think that that will more than pay for itself later on, and we're going to get into those reasons in a moment. Before I do, I'm just going to take a look here at the shorts just to see if anything has changed. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we are still below, we came back down below the 200-day moving average. So no significant movements, no attack on the price action here or the volume that has been coming in for Doge. So as of right now, we're in relatively a stable position. So no major price updates at the moment. So let's take a look here at the facts surrounding how big of a deal this Twitter acquisition is for Elon and the integration of a coin such as Dogecoin. So we have to look at the macro of the event, and it really comes down to supply and demand. And I think that the unlimited supply, or that $135 billion number, it trips a lot of people up. So let's really dissect that number. So out of the 135 billion, we have X amount of coins that are going to be non-recoverable. People have lost them, lost the wallets, lost access. We also have the fact that the brokers are going to hold on to X amount of coins. So there's going to be the coins that we're not going to have access to because people can't simply access them to buy or sell or to trade them in any direction. And then we have the numbers, because right now we know that most of the coins are still held by brokers. Now, in the event of something like a Twitter acquisition, we've seen in the past that we've had these wraparound tokens and stuff like that, where it was redeemable 1-for-1. I do believe that we'll probably see a new version of that going forward because, again, the actual asset, when you have something that is poised to have a significant increase or to have an expansion on utility, it's often frowned upon from a business perspective to actually risk losing that asset or to have a run on that asset. So typically that's why you'll have things like a 1-to-1, or kind of like with the Binance situation when you had the BSC token and it was redeemable in place. It's no different than like a ETF. And they're like, oh, you want to trade an ounce of gold? Well, here's a piece of paper saying that it's redeemable and in place of the ounce of gold. Same thing we had with dollars and the gold standards. You couldn't go and get like your actual gold at one point. It was, okay, this is equal to a gold. And when you used to could trade it back and forth. So this is why these types of things become popular. And we will have that number, which I believe will be pretty significant, that the brokers are going to hold on to, whether that be for lending, for shorts, or to use their wraparound tokens to try and generate a spread for that amount. And then we also have to look at what the investors, the speculative investors, the ones that have been holding this entire time and acquiring coins this entire time, they've been waiting on news like this. So they're probably just going to double down and buy even more. And then we have to look at after the Twitter acquisition, and you say, okay, outside of the people using the coins for utility, how many coins are going to leave the brokerages, leave the wallets, and never return and sit in their wallets, whether that be on Twitter or something like that, because we know Elon is an advocate for owning your own keys. So I'm sure that will probably be an integration there where it's you have your own private keys or something like that on Twitter. But how many of those coins are going to leave those brokerages and never return? And this results, all of these, everything I just said, those 4 or 5 things, that results in a significant drop in supply and a tremendous increase on demand based off of the utility and the expansiveness and the programs and stuff like that that is offered on Twitter. Not to mention that when you have a coin that has that exposure and a large community of people trading in and out of it on Twitter, what does that do? That makes it more attractive to additional businesses. You're saying that, hey, this is the official cryptocurrency of Twitter. That makes it much more attractive to additional businesses to accept this coin or to accept trade and do business with this coin because they know it's a huge following in this with this asset. So this drains the supply, the available supply of the coin. And what happens when you have reduced supply and increased demand? You have significant price increases. I can almost guarantee it mathematically that Doge cannot sit at these levels with a Twitter integration. It's almost impossible. So, and you do the math here, and like I said, that even if you break it down on a numerical scale, if you divide the wallets up by the amount of coins somebody can hold. I did it last year. I mentioned in my last video, it's less than $2,000, right? Even if you limit it to just a few 100 million people, we're talking about just maybe a few hundred coins each. And we know for a fact, I know people who have multiple 6 figures in coins and stuff like that. It's not, we know that the amount of coins, and even to get those numbers, we know that the amount of coins that we're calculating is based off of the total supply. And for the reasons I just named, we don't have access to the total $135 billion of coins. So even those numbers, as low as they are still too high. This is why I'm saying the supply and demand ratio is going to play a really significant factor in this integration. The Twitter integration based off of utility, I know I've been saying it for a while, but it truly is the best thing that could happen to Dogecoins for the community, for longevity, for price wise, just for it marking its territory as being the people's cryptocurrency. This is really the best thing that can happen for it. Utility is the major factor that determines longevity. And when you have this reduced supply, I want to bring this up too, because I know in the past, a really big issue has been shorts and people lending them and stuff like that. You have a much more stable price that's based off of the actual supply and demand, because the supply is going to be so low. These brokerages are going to charge a fortune for people to borrow these coins and take out their shorts and stuff like that, which is the synthetic sell orders that they inject into the market immediately. I have a bunch of videos on that if you don't understand what that means, but it'll cost them a fortune to make these borrows. So it becomes less of an attractive investment for short sellers. So they move on to their next, next victim, really, where they want to leech off of and try and manipulate price. So that results in more of a stable price action, or more of a normal price response based off of supply and demand versus just, oh, well, we hate this coin, so let's just short the hell out of it. So this is just a really, really big deal here. And I really want the community and for everyone that watches this video to really just kind of think about the fact that, yes, if you look at the numbers, they say, oh, 135 billion. But if you look at the fact that you're saying this is going to be a cryptocurrency, or no, excuse me, a method of exchange, or of the people's currency of a large community, something like a Twitter, that 135 billion is actually not a significant amount of coins. And you can even make the case based off of the reasons I just said, it's actually not enough coins. So it's really going to the people who are, have coins at these levels and stuff like that. I imagine it's going to be very, very rewarding for those people just based off of, simple supply and demand. That's really what it's supposed to be. It shouldn't have to be forced in this way, but that's really what should determine the value of an asset. So I think that Dogecoin is poised. This is probably the best position that Dogecoin has been in since they announced like the SNL situation, or even Dogecoin going to the moon. This is literally the best thing that can happen for Dogecoin longevity wise, because it's not a particular event. It's not like on this day this happens and after this day we go back to normal. No. This is ongoing. This is going to be the currency for this website ongoing. This is not a one and done event. So this is really just, like I said, the best thing that can happen to Dogecoin. So think about that and keep that in mind. And, just make sure you're happy with your numbers. I'm not here to tell you, to do what with the coin, but just think about it, because I know there's a lot of noise out there surrounding this. I've seen the comments, I got the DMs, but I wanted to put this out to address a lot of that. So just think about it. If you like what I had to say, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend, and check out Moomoo for payment for order flow free trading. If you are interested in stocks, I have a link for them in the description section. And don't forget that the most important thing that you can do, even with the Twitter acquisition, is to remove your coins from exchanges. I personally use a ledger. I have a link for them, affiliate link for them in the description section as well. But you can use whatever wallet that you choose. Just make sure that you own your keys, so that you're not in a situation where the brokers are holding your crypto hostage. I don't want that for any of you. So that being said, I appreciate all of you. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.